It's been a long, long run, but the road's gone dry. Every whistle and bell says it's time to say goodbye.
Hey, what's up, zkRacers? We're back for 2025. Happy New Year's. And we wanted to make a video today because zkRace did recently, like a week ago, they made an announcement about permanent horse retirement. And this thing was just too cool. It is a short-term promotion. So it is January 15th at the time we're doing this video. The promotion expires on February 7th. So we're going to review real quick what that is, show you how to do it. So in case you missed this, you need to jump on this because, again, you got about 3 weeks. So, yeah.
I know this is something that we've talked to them about in the past, because there was always this idea that you'd burn a horse, right? And who's burning a horse? Like, well, especially when we only had Gen 1s, like maybe some random person would burn a horse, but you got very little value from that. And so now they've introduced a way to actually get recurring value from those horses that you no longer want to race. So it's pretty great.
So taking a look real quick at Dirk Burner, I'm hovering over the burn icon. So this bottom right one where the flame is, you no longer should ever want to hit that button. For example, if I were to go to burn this horse, I'm going to get 500 sugar once, and that's it. So burning that horse makes no sense. But then pressing on this lock button, we did a video on retirement previously, and this will show you about how you will get your 225 after 1 month. But now here, if I click on this, you can't see the drop down, but I'm going to bring it down to permanent. Here, when it is a permanent retirement, this means the horse is gone forever. The name is gone forever. But you'll see down below, I'm going to make 865 sugar with this Omega every single month, more than if I burned it just one time. So here, I now turn this horse into a perpetual sugar making machine. It's a glue factory, the sugar factory.
Literally no reason to ever burn a horse. I don't even understand why the icon's still there. I'm assuming it's going to get replaced with something in the future, possibly related to jockeys. Who knows? We'll see what happens with that. But they've got an empty icon space that should basically be turned off at this point. But yeah, in terms of retiring permanently, you get way more value. And you'll notice that this too is an Omega. Like that actually goes up if you're burning higher value horses as well.
So once you do retire your horse, you'll see under the staked horses, and also just real quick, the promotion that you get is not only do you get the sugar forever, but zkRace is going to reimburse you the 50 ZERC and the Liquid Love that you spent breeding said horse. So basically right now, as you permanently retire your horses, you're going to get all of your initial investment back in breeding it, and then you're still going to get the compounding. And then when you go into your staked horses under your stable, I've done this quite a few times. You'll see this horse is retired. This horse is retired. This horse is retired. All of these are generating me 1,210 sugar a piece for the betas, 865 for the omegas, and then it gets higher with the more rarity that you have in place.
Yeah, there obviously, as you're scrolling down, you can see you've done this a lot. I've staked a bunch of horses to monthly earns, but not permanent. I haven't gone that far yet, but I have a lot that I could do that with. And I guess that kind of brings us right to the next thing. Like, why would you do this? Besides just earning sugar, but like, why should you take advantage of it in the next 3 weeks? And like, I think we have different points of view on this, but ultimately it comes down to being able to get that money back that you already spent, or at least the cost in Liquid Love and ZERC, and be able to try again. Whether that's a Gen 1 or, fingers crossed, it'd be a Gen 2 here in the coming months, quarters, who knows. Doesn't sound like it's coming anytime soon, but being able to have Gen 2s eventually, you could stockpile your Liquid Loves as well.
So in my opinion, there's two things that's really great about this promotion. The first one is I feel like the OGs that have been breeding and participating in all of the original unraced tournaments, and we've had a whole bunch of these mid-tier horses that are not able to compete. This is a great way for us to unload them, to just ruin the marketplace with trash horses. So that way new people show up, they don't pick up our garbage. Instead, we can get rid of our garbage and instead turn it into 10,000, 20,000 plus sugar generated every single month. And especially like me, I've always been a breeder getting ready for the Gen 1s to breed. So the day that happens, I've accumulated over 400,000 sugar right now. It's still climbing, but I'm going to be using that very, very aggressively so that I could rebreed my Gen 1s as soon as that's available to me. So as an OG in this game, I feel like this is a great opportunity to be able to establish your Gen 1 breeding stable plan. So taking advantage of this right now to get all of those reimbursed, to breed more while you still can. I bred and burned a horse without ever racing it just to take advantage of this promotion. So that's my take.
Yeah, and then we've already heard that there's 300 plus, probably ultimately going to be 400 or 500 plus horses that have been permanently retired. Now, knowing that there's roughly 6,000 or so Gen 1s that were in the game, I mean, we're approaching a full 10% of that having been retired, and that's great. Like, to your point, those are being pulled off the market, not being, sloughed off to some new player that's going to realize that they have this garbage horse. It's great. However, without knowing when Gen 2s are going to be able to come out, breeding with the Gen 1s, I feel like this is one of those, like, retire it and wait, and you're going to see a lot of OGs not necessarily breeding again, waiting for the next round, next generation, I think is what we're going to see. So I don't know that there's necessarily going to be a big influx of new horses or usage of the new Liquid Loves, which, temporarily kind of depresses the value of Liquid Loves on the market. So nothing wrong with that, at least in the long term. But in the short term, I think we'll see a little bit of a depression of value.
So then the other thing to add to this is we got to get a meeting on with zkRace soon, talking about the Kings implementation. So when we last spoke with them about this, our recommendation was to utilize sugar as a piece of that. So that way there's utility to sugar. And then if they roll that out in that way, there's going to be another demand on sugar to use this so you can get access to a better or more exciting strategic game inside the platform that would be able to pay out potentially more rewards. So that's another opportunity for you. And then the other thing to throw out there is we've been getting a lot of messages over the holidays about when is the next Unraced event going to be. We definitely need to get something on the books. So we're going to be coordinating with zkRace as well to figure out that. So this is another good opportunity to burn your trash, get a whole bunch of make some new assets, because we're going to definitely have something exciting coming out in Q1.
Yeah. Another thing to point out, and we got confirmation on this, is if your horse is being retired permanently, that name, if you changed it to your own custom name, is permanently retired as well. So you're not going to be able to reuse that name. This is going to matter more in the future when older generation champ horses are eventually retired. Right now, it's a bunch of, you've got a bunch of goofy names that have all been retired, which who cares? But funny enough, you won't be able to use those in the future. So it's just something else to consider as you go and take a look at your stable. Consider retiring horses that it makes sense to do so on. Or, I mean, honestly, right at this point, we've even done some of the math. It's almost valuable enough to go buy a bargain horse off of the open market and then go ahead and retire it, because you're going to get value back to be able to breed something else if you're looking for another way to go about that.
So highly recommend it. Jump on it, guys, and then stay tuned for some upcoming events.
It's been a long, long run, but the road's gone dry. Every whistle and bell says it's time to say goodbye. The grind's worn thin, the sparks burned out. No more early mornings, no more chasing cloud. We gave it all we had, every ounce, every stride. But now it feels like the wind's on the other side. We're hanging it up, we're calling it quits. No more dirt in the air, no more taking the